highlights are going, the scoreboards are lit up, all of the ribbon boards are lit up, and the music is blaring on the concourse. And it was hopping all day today. I got here, I think about 9:30, and it was already going, and it went all day. So it's been busy really since spring ended. Recruiting time for this staff, but we're going to dive into spring football. It's a big weekend this weekend because it's graduation. Cam Taylor-Britt is going to be graduating this weekend, and several football players. In fact, I think overall for the Husker student athletes, it's going to be a record-breaking year. So we're going to dive into all of that with Coach Rhule and a lot more. So also coming up on the show tonight, hour number 2 is we'll have Tyus Wilson, who won the high jump Big Ten individual title, was a part of the Big Ten men's championship for Nebraska track and field, the back-to-back title. So we're going to chat with him. He put up a massive number, jumped 7.6 to win the title, which is one of the best jumps in the world so far this season. And he's got a fascinating story, so can't wait for you guys to hear from him. And we're also going to be joined by Peter Kobelt, the Nebraska men's tennis head coach. He spent the last season as the interim head coach, but you could say that he's Troy Dannon's first hire officially, because he announced, I guess it was last week, that he would officially be the head coach and take over that program without the interim tag, which is important because when you move forward in recruiting and trying to get the players in and build the program, you got a lot of coaches maybe saying, hey, that's only an interim deal. You don't know, why would you want to go there? So I know it's certainly been a big deal for him in recruiting too, to be able to lift that interim tag. So all that coming up here over the next couple of hours. So should be an exciting show. Some big news out today. We've been hearing some kickoff times for the upcoming football season. Of course, we learned about the Nebraska-Colorado game coming up at September 7th. Saturday night game on NBC at 6:30. And yesterday, Fox announced their big noon schedule, a few of the games that they're going to start off with. So Texas at Michigan on September 7th, Alabama at Wisconsin September 14th, and Michigan at Ohio State November 30th. You knew that they were not letting go of that game. And then today, CBS announcing their few games, some select games, and also that the Big Ten Championship coming up on December 7th at 8 o'clock is going to be on CBS. So Notre Dame, Purdue coming up September 14th, and then USC, Michigan, September 21st. And of course, the defending national champions will be hosting USC. That's the first Big Ten road game for the Trojans. Not an easy task to go there to Ann Arbor, but that will be a fascinating matchup. But it's just so exciting as we see these times start rolling in, and we've been talking about these networks and the big revenue that's coming in as a part of it. And here just keeps with each new announcement getting more official and more official and more exciting and more exciting. We were told that we will probably hear some more kickoff times for the Huskers closer to the end of May. So before you know it, we will know more of the schedule. Duke, by the way, had the ticker a few minutes ago with the WNBA opening night. It's Duke's last night for the summer. He's going to go back home, and then he'll be back. He's working with the football team as well, but it's his last night, so we got to make it a good one for him. But he had this in the ticker talking about the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's debut, of course it is. I know everybody around here knows how the Caitlin Clark effect, but I did want to talk a little bit about Jaz Shelley because, didn't get to this last night. She was waived over the weekend by the Phoenix Mercury, but it was pretty cool because if you follow the Husker women's basketball team, Amy Williams, some of the coaches on social media, they were able to go out to Phoenix and watch her play in a preseason game over the weekend. And, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of roster spots in the WNBA, and they can only carry a maximum of 12 players. And it's been a big topic since the draft because the draft was so loaded with talent, and that how are they going to be able to manage all the players, and with the talent coming back at the WNBA, some of the veterans are going to lose their spots. Some of the talented rookies might not make teams. And sadly, Jaz Shelley, who was drafted, about a month ago by the Phoenix Mercury, was waived. But I guarantee you, and we'll have a chance to hopefully chat with Amy Williams here soon, I bet Jaz was really took a lot away from the experience. And I saw a video on TikTok. I know, yes, I watch mainly for recipes, but sometimes sports content pops up on my feed. And I saw a video of Jazz participating in their rookie talent show. And I think she wrote a poem. I didn't see the whole thing, but it was just cool to see. And I think that's big for recruiting as well when, hey, there's this player that just left our program that had an opportunity. He got drafted and got to do all these cool things. And I bet she takes a lot away from that experience. And she'll have a really good shot to play a lot of professional basketball, of course, in her home country of Australia. But I still think, she's said to me since she got here that one of her biggest dreams has always been to play for that Australian national team at the Olympics. So can imagine that probably she will keep working towards that. But yeah, it was cool overall to just follow the journey from getting drafted to seeing her go through the preseason and the all the camps and the media day. The Mercury posted a photo from her media day and said, "Hey, Husker women's basketball, thought you wanted to see some Jazz Shelley content." So it was just cool to watch her journey, and certainly no one more deserving than Jazz Shelley. And I know it was probably a great experience too for Coach Williams and a couple of Jazz's teammates and a group of the women's basketball program got to go watch her. But I think it'll be big for this team moving forward in recruiting to be able to promote that. And it just was awesome to cover Jazz's career, and it was cool to watch her in the WNBA over the past couple of months. All right, we're going to get to our first break here a little quicker tonight so we can have plenty of time with Coach Rhule. So if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT. With approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 5/31/2024. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Well, the music has been blaring on the concourse all day long. It's been busy, really, since spring ball ended, but we're happy to have the head coach, Matt Rhule, joining us for a few minutes here on Sports Nightly. Thank you. I know you're busy, so thanks for spending some time.
Oh, my pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
Well, how's everything going since you closed the chapter on spring football? And I know you guys have been hitting the road heavy in recruiting. How's it transitioned from spring ball into where you guys are now?
I think it's been great. You know, the coaches are out on the road recruiting. Rules are that I can't be out, but you know we've taken a very aggressive approach with recruiting weekends. So we've had one during the spring game, one this past weekend. So you know nowadays with the portal being kind of it's closed, but obviously with people being out there, you're kind of recruiting year round, and so we're trying to do a great job of that.
When you think back to where you were a year ago, how do you feel different the most to where you're sitting here today?
Well, I feel like as the head coach, I don't have to do quite as much. I think we have a staff now that has all been through it once together, and we all kind of know what's expected. We have an amazing support staff here of people at the university that all want to help us, and then our players know what to expect. So we just, for me, it's about trusting people to do their jobs at a high level and trying to keep the main thing. Our guys' grades, recruiting, and then getting them back June 1st and getting to work.
Well, a couple of news items I want to hit on. Most recently, the night game coming up prime time against Colorado, 6:30 on Saturday, September 7th on NBC. How stoked were you guys to hear that game in prime time? I know you're a fan of 11 a.m. games, but that atmosphere is going to be just epic on September 7th.
Yeah, I've only had one home night game here so far, and it was a great experience. And so, I think this is great for our fans. This is great for the game. The Nebraska-Colorado rivalry over the years, what it means. Obviously, they beat us last year. And then for our guys to have a chance, early in the season to go out there on national TV and show the country, the work that we've done and the team that we have. And so I'm excited. It should be an amazing, amazing football game.
How big is that, too, in recruiting to be able to to say, hey, this is what it could be, this is how rocking it can be inside the stadium?
Yeah, I think it's an infomercial, we try to take the spring game broadcast like that. I think I've heard from people all over the country who watched our spring game and felt the energy and felt the passion, felt the fans. And, this to me, this will be that on steroids, obviously, with a night game, with all the things that we do. our game operations will be, featured for the whole country to see.
So big weekend coming up this weekend for your program. You got 15 football student athletes that will be graduating. I know a couple are in the NFL, but how proud does that make you to see those guys walk across the stage?
Well, unbelievably fired up, and really fired up for guys that have decided to come back and get their degree, the guys that have their degree and they're moving on in the new phase of their life, and then also for the guys that are graduating, but they're still in school and they're still, working on furthering their education. So, we want guys to come here and win a championship. We want guys to come here, have a great experience. We want guys to come here, get a great education, and then go to the NFL. And this is a big, big moment for that.
So per the expert Keith Mann, he gave me a stat that by August, when you guys hit the field for fall camp, you'll have more than a dozen guys that have had their degree from Nebraska. What does that do for a football team? I think over 15 that will be college graduates when you have that kind of age and experience.
Well, they can help calm the young guys down and tell them what to do. But I think our whole goal is we want to give to our players. We want to pour into them and make them the best version of themselves. And so when they have that degree, that's just tangible proof that, hey, it works. It's happened for me. And so they can hopefully speak some wisdom to the younger guys as they make the decisions they need to make.
One of the big storylines over the last weekend was another Big Ten title coming back to Lincoln. A couple of your guys contributed to that as the Nebraska track and field, the men's side, go back-to-back, bringing back another Big Ten championship. Jalen Lloyd, Jeremiah Charles, both contributing to the team score in that. How exciting was that for you guys to watch them contribute? Yeah,
highly exciting. Whether it's been Nash, wrestling, or these guys running track, not just to be a part of the team, but to go out there and score points, for them to go out there and help the team win. That's what everything we do is about. We want them to win in the classroom, win in life, and they went out and they won on the track, and that's awesome. Congratulations to Coach St. Clair. He's obviously an amazing coach, and they continue to have success, and the fact that we can support them in football is awesome.
St. Clair said that, told us last week that, of course they were with you guys in football, but they are that talented that they could go out there and they knew that they could contribute. For those two guys to have that kind of talent and to people, how did you feel like, I guess, they managed both football and track and then being able to go right back out to the track? Yeah, they're both great young men, and they have really good processes, and we work really well with the track staff. So I think, they focused on, kind of where their feet were. If they were at track, they did track. If they were in football, they did football. Both guys got better in football, which is important for us, and they were able to contribute, which is great. You mentioned wrestling and then track. I know during the spring game weekend, I believe you were out at soccer, and we had Troy Dannon on a couple weeks ago, and he had mentioned that when he was getting here and getting a feel for things, just the culture, and that you were a big part of that. Why has that been so important to you to be a part of the culture overall, not just football here? Yeah, I think the first thing is, I'm a dad, so most of my life decisions outside of football are made around the girls, and eventually Bryant when he gets here. But, little Leona wanted to go see us play Colorado, and so we snuggled up at the top of the soccer field, her and I, and watched the game. And, I love watching our athletes. I have a chance to get to know them, to see them train, but to see them on the field, to see them on the court. I think it's really special. And, they support us. I certainly want to support them. And I also like to be around excellence. I like to be around the best, and, Husker student athletes are the best. You're going back to Jalen Lloyd and Jeremiah Charles, both extreme athletes, and Jeremiah made the switch from wide receiver to defensive back. How much of those conversations are going on right now? Is that something that you guys are constantly talking about when you're maybe trying to figure out where guys fit best in certain position rooms? We've had a couple conversations with the guys. I think for the most part we're pretty set. A lot of those things happened during the season. There's some guys I'll say, hey, you might want to consider this. Mm-hmm. I don't really know the answer, but, again, for each player, I'm always trying to present them with a plan for them to be successful. And I don't always have the answers, but I can certainly give, ideas and feedback. And so we've had some of those conversations. There's a couple guys considering some things, but nothing, nothing overtly imminent. Jeremiah, that happened in season, and I think it's going to be a great thing for him. With your staff, and I know you've brought in a few new pieces, and a lot of the coaching staff is here. How do you go about figuring out what works? Was it something that after the year that you figured out, well, let's make some tweaks here and set some things here, but figuring out what works for you at Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nebraska football and Nebraska athletics is a monster, and I mean that in a great way. I mean, it's got all the ability, it's got all the resources to be at the top of the national stage, and so I need people here that can take whatever their role is and crush it. And so, sometimes you have to move people around, sometimes you have to add a person, but at the end of the day, the opportunity that's here and the potential that's here, which means also that the responsibility that's here. And in a day and age now where, players are looking for development, they're looking for you creating future opportunities for them. You need people in your organization who are pouring into the players. And so whether it's nutrition, whether it's the weight room, sports science, football coaches, operations, recruiting, we're trying to get a little bit better every day. And adding the right people has been the most important part.
You had made a comment in one of your press conferences, I believe, about, the future head coach could be Evan Cooper or Garrett McGuire, and, you have a lot of former players that are coaching for you. How do you identify because they're also different, right? They're not like all the same kind of coach. They coach differently. How do you identify who is going to be a great football coach and work with you?
Yeah, I kind of said that in jest. I think a lot of people took me pretty seriously. I more meant that I'll probably be dead. But no, I think we have a lot of guys on our staff that could be a head coach. And, I think when you really look at what being a head coach is you look at, the ability to have strategic vision, the ability to be able to communicate that vision to people, the ability to hold people accountable, the ability to say you're wrong and change course when you have to. And so, I'm always looking for guys who are communicators, who are smart, who also have high character, who love people, and you naturally find yourself getting drawn to those types of people. And so you hope that when you look at your staff that most of the guys could be a head coach because they're a reflection of the way that you do things.
You got some potential coaches on the team right now that are playing for you that could make some good coaches in the future?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt. It's funny you say that. Like we have guys. We have a lot of guys that I can see myself hiring someday, and especially here because there's so many great young men on this staff. Like Ethan Piper, he's going off to teach and coach in high school, and I would have hired him in a second. But there's a lot of guys like that, a lot of guys who have that gift, and to me, you just have to cultivate it and nurture it.
Speaking of Ethan Piper, he just won a pretty prestigious award and gave a really great speech. I know that had to give you a lot of pride seeing him up there and just what he's gone through, but how much this program means to him and you guys as coaches mean to him. Yeah,
no doubt. He's one of the best people I've met since I've been here. And he stands for everything that's right. I think it's always a great reminder that what happens on the field is just a small piece of what happens for the next, 50, 100 years in the world. So creating great humans, creating great men that'll lead the future, if we do that, then we're doing something right.
One of the things that I know is big during this time, and Gus Felder has a big role, is you get out in the community, and it's where a lot of the bonds were formed. I know when talking with the players all throughout the season, they would always reference this time of year, and they were going to volunteer with different guys. Can you talk us through how you got to that point that you knew that a program like that, led by Gus Felder, is going to be critical to what you want to implement here at Nebraska?
Yeah, I think early on, as a head coach, when I first started at Temple, I truly believed that, giving was the ultimate form of living, to quote, Dr. King. And so it was really important to us, that, we know we're given a lot, much would be required of us. And so we wanted to go out, we wanted to give to the community, not always with cameras, not always with, rewards on the other end, but just to give back. And I think what you find is a lot of the times some of your guys that you're struggling to reach, maybe they're a little bit hesitant to go do some of these things, but when they do it, they are always the best. They always see themselves in some of the kids that they visit with. They always find a way to make an impact. And so it's been important to us. And obviously, Keith Zimmer's in our life skills program, they do a great job of opening up opportunities. We have some guys that are going, I believe it's to Panama. I'm probably saying the wrong thing, but I believe it's to Panama here in a couple of days. I just was at lunch with Derek Branch, and he just got his last shots to go. Gus takes people out in the community every single day. And, isn't that right? Like, to think of all the people here in Lincoln that support us, let's go support them. And again, does it help you win more games? I can't say that it does, but I do believe it probably does. To have a team that's grateful and appreciative and takes care of others.
How important is this time in developing that brotherhood, that chemistry, that culture that carries into the fall?
Yeah, I always feel like the winter time is where we establish a lot of that. The summer times where we really develop some of the leadership that you need as a team. There's not a ton of school going on. It's the time they spend together. It's the weekends they spend together. Coaches will be there in June. We have our camps. We have recruiting weekends. We'll do a lot of stuff with the guys. But then, we kind of hit a point late in June where I try to get the coaches away. My goal has always been when we start camp for the players to be excited to see the coaches. Like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Coach. How you doing? And that's where the team will, they'll decide if they want to be a self-led team, if they want to set standards for each other and hold each other accountable or not. I would bet on this team doing that. And to me, the summer becomes a very, very, very important piece of what you do in the fall because of the bonds that are built.
I know a lot's been made about, the roster and across college football with the transfer portal, but you did not lose very many guys. But how do you guys go about from when spring closes to when you hit the field for fall camp, figuring out how you're going to get this roster set?
We meet with every player after the spring game, every single guy, and just kind of talk about their strengths and weaknesses. Something we've always done before the portal was even there. I think all of our players deserve open, transparent, honest feedback. They deserve to give feedback to us, say their perspective. And, we hope that most people want to be here. And from there, we take the ones who do want to be here, and we double down and we get back to work. And, if we can add a guy or two here in this time of year that can help us, then great. But most of our roster's set. Most of our team is set. We did that in the winter. We did that in the spring. And, we're just trying to make really good decisions, in terms of what we do, if we did anything right now. But I'm more interested in the summer. I'm more interested in the development. I'm more interested in the team, as you asked about coming together. The time you spend in the summer as a college football team really can define the season that you have.
It's been a big recruiting time really for you guys. I feel like you don't stop at all. How do you guys manage all of that year round and just making sure you're, also sleeping, right? You've talked about that, getting some sleep, but your guys resting as well.
Yeah, you can kind of hear I'm a little bit under the weather because we haven't rested very much. But that's the job. People in the state work hard. They expect us to work hard. They expect us to grind. We're lucky to have the resources here to fly all over the country in recruiting. We're lucky to have the interest in us that people come from all over the country in recruiting. But at the end of the day, I love people. I love relationships. I love connections. And that's what recruiting comes down to. And so it's fun to have people here and spend time with them and see if this is the right fit for them.
Camp season is right around the corner, but I know you guys had one up in Omaha, youth camp. How did that go?
That was great. And anytime you have a chance to be around those kids, before they get to high school, hopefully inspire them, watch our players coach them and mentor them. It's great. And, my goal is someday, seeing some of those kids commit to us, from all across the state who've come to our youth camp, through our high school camps. We found a lot of good players and a lot of good athletes by hosting these camps, the high school ones as well as the youth ones. And it's kind of a holistic, long-term plan to really give kids an opportunity to be a Husker for a day and find the ones that can do it in the college level.
And you guys said that right from when you were hired, that was going to be an important part of what you did. And then last year we saw multiple guys get offers and commit at camp, and I talked to several of them on signing day. What are some of the things that you recognize and identify at camps, besides, I guess, the speed that you think, okay, this could be a potential Husker?
Yeah, you have to think about it like you're sitting there all spring and you're working with your guys, right? And you're doing the drills with them, and then at camp you have a chance to do the same exact drills with them. And so as you're watching them, you say to yourself, hey, is this the next Ty Robinson or not? Is this the next Isaac Gifford or not? And if it is, then trust your eyes. We always go back and watch the tape too. We always go back and, we do a football character and a personal character, and we have a lot of questions to answer. But, I'm not humble enough. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I can watch a film and know what someone's going to be in 5 years. I'd much rather, have that chance to coach them and watch them and be around them. And so you also find out a lot about their character, about their mental toughness, about their competitiveness, being resilient, being tough. There's no substitute for that. So we love when we can have guys come to camp. A lot of times it might be a kid that's 2 years away, but we're getting an early evaluation on them, and hopefully we can do a really good job, especially with the local kids.
I think it was Rex Guthrie that told me last December that when he came here to camp, it was kind of it for him. He knew he had to, he really didn't have a lot of options, a lot of offers at the time, but he just wanted to give it his all. And that he was just so elated when he got that offer. Those types of kids, when you get to offer them at camp and they've earned that offer, how special is it to extend those offers?
Oh, it's great. But selfishly, if you give me a guy that has an Ivy League brain and can run 4.3, I expect our coaches to coach him, and that's what Rex was, right? I think a special moment for me, though, was, Quinn Clark, obviously his father having played here and passed away, and, his mother coming down to the camp and having them come to camp and earn an offer. That was really special, and there's all kinds of stories like that. And there's lots of other young people that come down to want to get an offer, and maybe they don't get one, but they have a chance to be coached by us, and, we try to have other colleges there as well, so this isn't one of those camps where we just coach the 5 or 6 scholarship guys. We're trying to coach everybody because they deserve it, and we want kids to have that experience. But, it's always great when you meet guys that you think, hey, and I might be your coach for the next 4 or 5 years. That's an honor for me to be around them.
So recruiting, camps, the list goes on and on, but what did you feel like you guys did well in spring and that you maybe need to tackle and really focus on before you get to fall camp?
I think for us, we have to just go back over the installations. You can't be a great player if you don't know exactly what you're doing. If you have to think, you're never going to play great. So going back over the installations and then just, again, continue to get bigger and stronger, being in great shape. This is a double bye season. The college football playoff expands. There's a lot more football left. As I said, people are going to talk about a lot of different things, the Colorado game, this game, that game. It's been a long time since Nebraska was 1-0. And so we're going to try to earn that victory every day. And but to me, it's less about planning and more about just working. Just as a program, we just kind of have to shut up and go work and earn some things. And I trust these guys that they're really good workers. I think they'll do it.
Okay, I got a non-football question for you. We had Lauren Cook West on the show last week, and she had brought up that Coach Cook was not very happy that you got to go on stage for the Zach Bryan concert, and he did not. I know you and Coach Cook have a great relationship, but he was pretty salty about it. How was that? How was that atmosphere and being on stage with Zach Bryan?
Yeah, Julie was not super thrilled. She was kind of like, you're not really going to do that, are you? And, Zach's father, a lot of people asked me who that was. That was Zach Bryan's father. That asked me to go on stage. We had a great conversation about college football. And he's like, come on, let's go. And I got up there, and then he went around the other side. So they're like, Coach, go up. I was like, I'm not going up by myself. I didn't know what to do up there. I got up there, and Zach kind of looked at me like, what are you doing up here, Matt? But unbelievable atmosphere, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And seeing all those, all those Husker fans out there and all those proud Nebraskans was awesome. And, I don't love to do all those things sometimes publicly. It might look like I do. I'm a nervous person by trade, but I think it's important that we show the country that, hey, living here in Nebraska, living in Lincoln, living in Omaha, living anywhere else in the state is fun. Great experiences happen here, and you should come here. And so it was cool to get up there. I've had a lot of players tell me I didn't sing very well, and I said, well, the key is that people heard me, buddy. So yeah. I have some work to do before the next time.
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
That would be up there just because he doesn't stop. But I went to Chris Stapleton last summer, and I thought Chris on the stage just absolutely crushed it. Like, so, to me, when they sound better in concert than they do on your iPhone, it's pretty special, and that's how I felt about him.
Do you have a bucket list concert that you want to go to? Somebody you want to see that you haven't?
That's great. I saw years ago, Julie and I had no money, and we went and saw Elton John, and we had to buy, Julie got them for us. We had to buy partial view tickets. And that's all we had. So we went to the Erie in Pennsylvania. Went to the Erie Civic Center, and instead of sitting, here's the stage, we had to sit up on the side. Well, realize Elton John plays a piano, and so he was about 10 feet from us playing the piano at us. And I told her, I said, this is an amazing date night we're having here, honey. So that was probably the best concert I've ever been to. So bucket list items. Oh, man, I don't know. I think you know what? I don't know. My daughters went to Taylor Swift with my wife. I'd love to be invited by my daughters to go see Taylor Swift. That made me feel good about myself.
She puts on a great show.
Yeah, I just don't know if my daughters want to be seen with their dad at this concert. We'll have to wait and see how cool I am.
Coach Rhule, I know you're super busy, so appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for everything.
All right, got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. If you got any thoughts from the head coach, what he had to say over the last segment. Let us know, and appreciate Coach Rhule coming in and joining us here on Sports Nightly. We're back with more coming up right after this.
Not All Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not All Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not All Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowes.com for details.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not All Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not All Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not All Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Discover the entire lineup of luxurious sedans and SUVs at Genesis of Southwest Omaha, like the powerful and thrilling Genesis G70. Plus, receive a low APR of 2.9% for 48 months on the 2024 Genesis GV80. Start your car buying journey online at southwestomahagenesis.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Repayment of $22.09 a month for 48 months for $1,000 finance for well-qualified buyers. No down payment required. Offer expires May 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at hyvee.com/perks. Got a final couple segments here left of hour number one. The concert question that I asked Coach Rhule has spurred a bit of a debate, I guess, in the YouTube chat, talking about everyone's favorite concert. Garth Brooks was brought up by a couple of people, and that was that was my first summer that I moved here, and hands down, I just don't know how that will ever be beat in my book. That's definitely number one on my book. But, Coach Rhule was talking about this time in the volunteering and getting out in the community. And it was about this time a year ago, we had Gus Felder on, and he's got just an incredible story, just incredible that, he came on the podcast, had a long conversation, and just, why this is important to him and getting into this line of work and being the director of player development and whatnot, and the importance for a football program. And, it was Saturday morning of the spring game, and right after the tornado hit, he was asking me, hey, do you know who we can talk to of how we can get involved and help people with cleanup? And it wasn't just a football team. I know there's several teams that had reached out that were trying to get up there to Omaha to where the tornado hit. And we actually had a group that went in the athletics department last Friday, and Luke Lindemeyer was there from the football team, and obviously was a great worker out there. There was a couple of track athletes, but the guy that was speaking, that was leading us and giving us the directions and telling us what to do, said that they had a football team signed up under Elliott Brown. They had a soccer team signed up that were already going, and none of us even knew that was happening. So, again, it's just it's cool to see, and they don't do it to promote, and a lot of times you don't even hear about a lot of the things that they're doing, but it's really neat that it's been such an emphasis, and I think it does. I think it plays a huge part in this team. And several interviews that I did last year, a lot of those guys circled back to this time a year ago, and they mix them up, so it's not position groups, that the same position groups that all go together. There'll be guys from D-line and the wide receivers and specialists, and they all go out, and it really brings them together, and it allows them to get to know them on a different level, so that it makes you want to fight hard for those guys that out there on the football field. So it's been cool, and I think definitely plays a really big role. And so you'll see probably a few things, but I don't even think that's even close to the amount of what some of the things that they're doing. But I thought that was cool. Luke Lindemeyer, we're in a circle, and we're all went around and tell something about yourself. And he said, I'm a big fan of Legos. I got a lot of Legos. And when we were cleaning up this farmer's field, there was Legos. Maya Felder, who's working for the athletics department, was out there, and she had found a couple Legos and actually gave it to Luke. But just again, a reminder of just the destruction, and you can talk about it the day after when it's on the news, but it's there's a lot of work to be done. And so it was a big reminder for me too, just that, hey, it's not just one day. This is going to be a long process for a lot of people. So I know that a lot of people here at Husker Athletics are wanting to get up there and help. So I would recommend, if anybody's listening in and wants to, it was definitely really, really good for me to get up there and do that. So anyways, let's get to another break here on Sports Nightly. Get to our final segment. If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Elevate your journey and command the road like never before with a new vehicle from Woodhouse GMC. Plus, with our current offers going on now, you'll save even more. Receive up to $8,000 off MSRP on the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab SLT. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must have 2010 or newer trade-in to qualify. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires June 3rd, 2024. See dealer for details.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker Athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at gosarpy.com.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here, hour number one of Sports Nightly. Steve in Bellevue chimes in on the concert debate. He said, Paul McCartney at age 75 was the best show I've ever seen, and I saw Led Zeppelin in their prime. Any Ringo Starr in the All-Star Band is always great. Crypto in the chat says Taylor Swift. Dry said John Denver. We're getting lots of people. Russ, you got a favorite?
Elton John.
Elton John. So you were there with Coach Rhule. You agreed with that then?
I don't think it was the same show.
But along those lines, I would love to see him. I bet he's awesome. Puts on an awesome show. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Yeah, it was funny. I know Andy and Phoenix had texted in asking about Coach Cook. I made sure that I asked him because it was hilarious listening to Lauren tell us that story last week about Coach Cook and being at the concert. But, it's like I said, Coach Cook re-recorded a rendition of one of his songs. And so maybe, thought Coach Cook would get up there and out-sing him. I don't know, but it was pretty funny to hear that. But there was a lot of Husker athletes in attendance up there. I have not seen Zach Bryant, but I have heard he's pretty incredible. I know Lauren and Coach Cook went when he was here in Lincoln, and then, of course, the volleyball team went back right that week before the spring match as a team. So, cool experience for them. Dr. J, so Shane and Carney had texted in about wanting me to ask Coach Rhule about Dr. Elza. Susan Elza said, let me pull up the text here. Please tell Coach Rhule that I watched Dr. Susan Elza's press conference and was very impressed. Tell us more about what she adds to the program and how her background in Texas high school sports translates to her position, GBR. So sorry I didn't get a chance to ask him. I should have, but, we had her on last year, and you want to talk about a boss. I was ready to run through a brick wall after chatting with her. And, she had taught actually a leadership class in one of the colleges in Texas. And it would be awesome to sit in on one of those classes. But, they've restructured it a little bit, the staff, and she does a lot. And, but just the kindest person, and no doubt has had a lot of experience working in Texas. And I think that's also helped, as they develop the relationships and continue to build those relationships with those and bring those relationships back to Nebraska with the Texas High School Football Coaches Association and her. My dad was a superintendent in Texas for several years and has a lot of friends that were coaches down there that were athletic directors and superintendents, and they were all super impressed by her and just had nothing but great things to say about the job she did as the leader, the first woman ever to be the head person in charge of the UIL, which is a big job down there in Texas. So I think a lot of those skills, from my perspective, I know you wanted Coach Rhule to answer, but I'll say from my perspective, I feel like a lot of those have translated. And she's at her core as a coach. She started out as a coach. And, I think you could tell how much just being around the athletes and how much she cares, and getting back to that and being able to be embedded with the team, how much she enjoys that. But I think she could there's a lot of different hats she wears. She works a lot with the leadership team, and just, again, this is a big machine and there's a lot of moving parts in it. And, to have someone like her that's helping direct the traffic, she's done it at the UIL, and I think it's translated well. But I'm a big fan of Dr. Susan Els. I think a lot of people are around here, but she is definitely a boss, and hopefully I'll get her back on. I had reached out to her right before spring when we had started the Husker Women's Wednesday podcast, but then spring football started. I know it's been crazy, so hopefully we'll be able to get her back on the podcast again soon. But yeah, chat with her for a few minutes and you can just tell how impressive of a woman she is, and certainly brings a lot here to Nebraska athletics. Okay, hour number 1 in the books. Coming up next, another big hour ahead. We're going to hear from Tyus Wilson, who was Big Ten champion ×2, individual and with the team, as Nebraska men's track and field bring the fourth title for the Huskers back to Lincoln, back-to-back for Nebraska men's track and field. We're going to chat with him. He's got a fascinating story. And then Peter Kobelt, who is named officially the head coach of Nebraska track and field. So keep it here. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly ahead.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The WNBA season starts tonight, which means it's the debut of Caitlin Clark on the Indiana Fever as they travel to play the Connecticut Sun. This game is sold out, which is the Sun's first sellout since their inaugural game in 2003 against Los Angeles Sparks. The cheapest ticket is also 6 times more expensive than Connecticut's next home game. 2 Game 5s of the NBA tonight as the Pacers face the Knicks and the Nuggets host the Timberwolves. 2 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight as the Bruins lead 1-0 in Game 5 against the Panthers as they look to avoid elimination, and the Canucks visiting the Oilers in Game 4. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Morgan brings it in. Tyler Stone rips one to right. That's hit deep, and that ball is gone. Tyler Stone ties us up at 4. A 3-run blast to right. Stoney into the bullpen, and it's a new game here in Lincoln. McDermott, the right-hander, deals. Pineda swings and lifts a fly ball to left field. Going back is Peterson. It's over her head and rolling all the way to the wall. Bacon scores. Bland scores. A 2-run double for Pineda. And the Huskers boost the lead to 6-2 in the 3rd.
Dillon turns, hands it off to Dowdell, left side, bounces to the outside, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Dante Dowdell.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Duke had this in the ticker about the WNBA opening night. Currently, the Connecticut Sun leading Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever 24-17 with 8:22 left in the second. And for those of you that are wondering, Caitlin Clark has 0 points in 7 minutes, is in early foul trouble here in her WNBA debut. All right, let's talk some Big Ten titles. Nebraska track and field goes back-to-back on the men's side. Women finished runner-up, had a great showing as well. But for the men, bringing back another trophy, and they absolutely dominated. They ran away with it. It wasn't even close at the end. And they had lots of guys that stepped up and contributed. You heard Coach Rhule and I talking about Jeremiah Charles, Jalen Lloyd, and the triple jump and long jump. And Tyus Wilson, who has become one of the best high jumpers in America, and he has the NCAA leading mark this season and actually jumped 7.6 this weekend to claim the individual Big Ten title, which is one of the best marks, not just in the NCAA, but in the entire world in an Olympic year. I had a chance to sit down with him for a really, really long conversation, so we're just going to play a portion of it for you here tonight on Sports Nightly. But I wanted to start off with just my question to him, asking him about Justin St. Clair and leadership and his leadership and what he's brought to being the head coach of Nebraska track and field.
I mean, he definitely holds a high expectation of the team. I think this is the first year that we've had travel standards to get to meets, and so I think he's trying to build a program that is across the board very high caliber athletes, especially in the throws. He's bringing in a lot of good athletes and doing that well there, and keeping the jumps consistent. So, and I've also seen on the sprinter side, I don't know if that's Sinclair or that's a lot of coaches doing, but we've had a lot of good sprinters come in, which has helped on the running side of things at least. So, yeah, he's definitely trying to make to the best of his ability a well-rounded team that can compete at the high level, not just the Big Ten, but hopefully nationally in a few years.
So you mentioned you're from a small town in Kansas. Let's talk about your journey here when you played basketball, football, and ran track. Talk to me about, I guess, how you got into track and high jumping and why that ended up ultimately being the path for you.
Right. So I'm from Sterling, Kansas, about an hour outside of Wichita. I'm actually not in the city limits of Sterling. I grew up on a farm.
Oh, cool.
My grandpa's farm. So yeah, had a lot of bucking bales in the summer and, helping grandparents on the farm a little bit. So, that definitely teaches you hard work. But, it's kind of unique going from a small town to, Lincoln's not huge, but for me, it was a very big city coming in. And so, just the small town aspect, you get to do everything. I did basketball and track all 4 years. And I got into track actually about, I want to say like 9 or 10. My parents both went to Sterling College, which is in my hometown. They ran basketball, did track. My mom was a phenomenal high jumper, state record holder in all 3 jumps and a couple different classes. And then my dad was a 400 hurdler and a high jumper. His main focus was basketball, though, for him.
Wow.
So, exposed very early, very good coaching when I was young. So that definitely contributed a lot to my success. I can't thank them enough for the position they put me in. And but, ultimately, they didn't really push anything on me, which is good. They never forced me to be a jumper. They never forced me to do basketball. It was something that they let me come to it on my own and find the love for the sport through my own adventuring, and so I was very grateful for that. But when it started kind of getting to that higher level, it was very nice to have parents that could also be coaches that knew quite a bit about the sport.
That's so cool. So did you have like a high jump pit at the house?
So actually the funny thing is my mom she has a gymnastics facility. She's also a gymnastics coach. She did gymnastics growing up.
Wow, all the sports.
Oh man, yeah. So I did gymnastics growing up as well. So I contribute a little bit of my athletic ability to that. And so she had the foam pits and all that stuff that I kind of turned into high jump equipment when I got into high school. But I also got to coach gymnastics from about 8th grade, and sometimes when I go back now, I'll kind of go back. I know some of the girls that are still on the team and still get to coach them. But I've had some facilities at home that are a little unique too. But
that's amazing. So if fans that don't know, if you watch, you do a backflip at the end. When you won, you were backflipping. Was that an ode to the gymnastics background?
Yeah, no, that is definitely something I learned when I was young in the gymnastics facilities. So, I think I don't know that I can do much now. Gymnasts are usually about 5 foot 5'2", and I'm 6'8", so not a good mix for a gymnast by any means. But I can still do a couple tricks here and there, and I like to show that off a little bit every once in a while.
That's cool. So this outdoor season, well, really this whole starting back in the indoor, but especially here lately, it seems like every time you get out on the track, you get better and better. What's gone into this outdoor season and your confidence and why you're performing so well?
Right. This could be a long
That's okay.
Runabout. We'll get settled in. So in high school, my PR was 7'3", and I was living on top of life and everything. And coming into freshman year, I kind of had the same high hopes, high expectations. I knew that I was coming into a great coaching staff, great people to train with, so I was like, I'm just going to keep going up and up and up. Get here freshman year, and it was just felt like a disaster. I mean, I had stress reactions in both my shins. I was still growing. I was 5 or 6'7" in high school, and by the start of sophomore year, I was 6'8" and maybe a fraction or so.
Wow.
So, things were still growing, things were still developing, and so when I'm trying to do these hard, intense workouts, my body was just not having it. It was just breaking down. And so, the marks just weren't following freshman year, unfortunately. And then on top of that, my dad ends up getting lung cancer. He's made remission now, so he praise God for that. But so physically I'm broken down, and mentally I'm just in a bad spot. I'm in a new place, new people, and I'm just just nothing's going right here. And in the midst of that, I was like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know where my focus is. And ultimately that fixed my eyes to Jesus. So I grew up in a great family, great household that brought me up to know Jesus, to know the love of Jesus, to know the freedom we have in him. But through this experience freshman year, it was this idea that I'm not in control of anything. If I was in control of anything right now, I would be national champion, school record holder, like all these things. But it just really showed me that, like, I'm not in control of my destiny. I'm not in control of my life right now. And so there's got to be something else, a firm foundation to lean on and rest on and to have my identity in. And so, like, in that moment, I was like, high jump can't be my identity, because if that's my identity, I've got a bad identity right now. Like, I'm not performing like I want to, and it's just gonna ultimately lead down to like a depressive state and things like that. So I would say that as a believer in Jesus before I came to college, but freshman year, he just grew me so much, and to know that I'm not enough on my own, but to know that he was enough on the cross, and to know that through his death, through his resurrection, like, I'm free. I don't need to do anything else. There's no works that I need to do to earn his approval, to earn his favor. You know, it just brings a certain amount of freedom to have that belief in someone else who is in control. So then to bring that all around, sophomore year, things started to go on the up and up. I think I've stopped growing since then, so that definitely helps with the training side of things. But ultimately, I think God was like telling me, hey, you're not ready to be at the national stage, because the glory's not going to go to me. And so I get to the national stage sophomore year, end up competing well, and like I've got a couple of interviews, and through those I'm like, I can't even give myself credit, because I'm not the one who brought me out of this slump. It was all him. And so, yeah, just to use that stage, to use that platform, and even this platform that I have right now, to shine back to him, to give him the glory for what he's done in my life, not what I've done. I think he was, in that season, freshman year, of breaking me down, really just, you know, pressure makes diamonds, and he was putting some pressure on me so that I could give it back to him. So I think I would give a lot of my credit to my success. Obviously, putting your faith in Jesus isn't going to give you the success on the track or on the court or in the classroom that you want, but it's going to put you in a better headspace, a better heart posture towards him. And so, yeah, this outdoor season, I think I've just been training well. First year that I haven't had like a major injury since coming in freshman year. And yeah, I feel like it's been coming, and with the training and the knowledge and then things just coming together, I knew some big marks were going to come this outdoors, but I wanted to focus one meet at a time, and it's just been cool to see the numbers going up and God's glory going higher. So
that's amazing. What an incredible testimony. So 7.6 was the best mark in the NCAA this season. You're moving up the record books in Nebraska, but it's fourth in the world, and I think second among Americans. So what did it feel like when you hit 7.6?
That was, honestly, I look at the bar right before it, I go, dang, that is high. For a 6'8" guy to look up and see something as tall, like that's oh, man. And there's like a picture of me and the officials, like after the meet. Yeah. And the bar's up, and I'm like, okay, take myself out of the picture and just look at the other people. It's just incredible to look up at that bar and be like, dang, I like got my whole body over that. So it's definitely something like I didn't do that on my own. There's something else there. But yeah, it's hard to put into words and describe just looking at a bar that high and approaching at it and being like, yeah, I'm like fully confident that I can make that and do that. I try not to compare myself to others, but yeah, I didn't even know that I was all these whatever. I knew it was first in the nation. Didn't know where it put me in the U.S. Didn't know where it put me in the world. But obviously, those guys at Worlds, they're in their Diamond League circuit. Their goals in August, so obviously they're not jumping the bars that they want to be right now, but hopefully I've got some more bars in me too. So yeah, I just don't like to compare myself to others, because I know they're just different than me, and that's the way God made us.
So you've got some things to accomplish here in your collegiate season, but is the Olympics potentially a goal for you? And when did that come about that maybe, oh my gosh, I could maybe do this? Right.
So there's like dreams and then there's goals. And for the longest time, like I looked when I was little, like middle school, young high school, and I'm like, okay, first Olympic year is like junior year. Okay, maybe I'll be ready by that. But you know, in my young mind, I was like, oh, I'll definitely be ready for 2028 when it comes back to the U.S. But yeah, to just obviously my PR 7.3 at the beginning of the year, that's not gonna get you there. That'll get you to trials, but that won't get you to the Olympics. But yeah, to see just the marks going up and up, and I know it's pretty early in my season. I've only had 3 or 4 meets, 3 meets that have finished, 4 meets. One of them got lightning canceled, but yeah, it's just crazy to have that dream now become a goal, and it's like it's not this far-fetched thing anymore. It's like you get 3 or 4 more centimeters into your jump, and you've got a pretty good shot. So I think it's one of those things that I want to go one competition at a time, obviously. Like regionals is the next one, and I don't want to get so ahead of myself that regionals doesn't go well and I don't make it to nationals. So obviously my mindset is on regionals right now. But yeah, looking past to July and later in the season, I definitely want to be there. I definitely want to compete to get to the Olympics. Didn't know that was going to be a realistic goal at the beginning of the season, but as it gets closer, I kind of see it unfolding a little bit more, which is, it's fun to think about, and I just want to really enjoy it because, you know, 13-year-old me was dreaming about being in my position today. So, yeah, just want to do that 13-year-old well.
That's really cool. So you kind of just hit on this, but not just for you, but for also, you know, your fellow athletes that also have a chance to go compete for bigger things even in this collegiate season in terms of national titles. What's the approach? What is the next couple of weeks, month or so look like for you guys to be able to be ready to go to maybe make some noise on a national scene?
Right, yeah. At this point, you know, you don't want to change anything. Like, it's not that it's too late to change, but like, we've got a lot of good things going right now as far as like I'm consistently jumping some higher bars, and Reed and Mason are both, you know, flirting around with that bar that'll make it to nationals. So you don't want to do anything drastically different, because although it might pay off, it also might hinder you a lot. So, you know, this last part, training kind of backs off a little bit. I've talked to Dusty, and, you know, maybe training might be able to ramp up a little bit. He talks a little bit like a bank account. You know, if you make some withdrawals at some higher bars, you know, you're going to withdraw to the point where you don't have any money left to draw out. So he's talking about, you know, we got to put a little bit back in. He obviously he's had experience with that. He talked about his senior year when he did kind of the same thing, 7.5, 7.5, and then he jumped his 7.8 and 3/4 bar or whatever at conference. And then at nationals, he said he struggled to make like 7 whatever, like 7.5 or 7.6. So he said it's one of those things that he at that time was drawing out and not putting enough back in. So he's kind of talking to me about, you know, we can put some back in right now and still get a good bar at regionals, and hopefully by nationals we can make another big withdrawal. So it's honestly, that's kind of way to think about it, or like thinking about it in waves of, you know, you've got to go break down a little bit to come back up. So I trust his planning. I trust his program that he's going to set that up well for me. So that's kind of what it just looks like is, you know, either you're trying to hit your up and up right now, or you're kind of breaking it down so that you can have your up and up at a later meet, just depending on who you are and how you jump. So
at this point, though, you feel like you've got it in you to make another big time withdrawal?
Hopefully. I mean, like 2 days after that competition, I woke up and I was like, I don't know if I can go up the stairs today. So, no, I think that we can keep improving for sure. I think definitely a lot needs to go back into the bank because, yeah, some big withdrawals have been made that I haven't made before. So, yeah, I'm hoping at nationals and Olympic trials we can put enough back in that it comes back out those days.
I just so enjoyed my conversation with Tyus Wilson, the Big Ten champion, and the team clinching back-to-back Big Ten titles. that was only a portion of the entire conversation. We talked about so much. And so, but wanted to bring you a portion of it here tonight. I will be posting the full conversation, the full podcast tomorrow morning on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel. So highly recommend checking it out. Great perspective. And this is a guy that not only has a chance to win a national title, but also could very well be representing the United States at the Olympics, hopefully this summer, maybe this summer, but also down the road as well. He's got, and he had talked about this too, that it's a lot of the jumpers that will be qualifying for the Olympics have not hit their marks yet, but there's certainly still a chance, and he's still got feels like he's got some gas left in the tank as well. But all of that he says he's taking it one meet at a time, one step at a time, and so regionals is next, and then nationals, and then he'll work to maybe get to those Olympic trials and then go on from there. But just an incredible student athlete. Again, we talked to a lot of those here on this program, but it was just an incredible conversation. So again, you have a chance, check out that full conversation coming out tomorrow morning. All right, got to get to a break here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Coming up next, we got the head coach for Nebraska men's tennis, Peter Kobelt. Keep it here.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. So we welcome you back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and we welcome in the head coach, no more interim tag, of Nebraska men's tennis, Peter Kobelt. Welcome in, congratulations. And yeah, you've been serving as the interim coach, but official last week, you're the head coach of Nebraska men's tennis. How does it feel?
Yeah, thanks, Jessica. I'm fired up. I'm really fired up. It was a great year. I learned a ton. There was a lot of ups, there was a lot of downs, but it was awesome. Like, you know, just learning, doing everything for the first time. A lot of these things you go through, you don't realize as a head coach how much stuff there is to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand exactly what needs to get done until you're actually sitting in that chair. But the guys did great. They embraced me and they embraced Ray extremely well, and it was an unbelievable year.
So I guess technically you could say that you're Troy Dannon's first coaching hire.
That's what he told me.
You know? So you had some conversations. I know he met with all the coaches here, but take us through the conversations you had with him that you felt like, okay, he might lean towards giving me the nod to take this thing on.
Well, I think first of all, he came in with the mindset of just wanting to get to know me a little bit. I think he's done a great job of that with all the coaches and all the staff that he's going to be interacting with, and I think that was cool. Just kind of, you know, it wasn't like an interview straight away. He just wanted to get to know me and kind of understand how I think and how I see things, and you know, he was really open to it. You know, I'm obviously on the younger side, and you know, I don't have a ton of experience, but you know, I think he saw how much I cared for Nebraska, how much I love doing what I do, and you know, my resume also speaks for itself, and I think for him it was like, okay, let's do this. So.
You know, when we've had him on, he speaks so very highly of Keith Zimmer, who is your sport administrator, and I know Keith is a big fan of you and probably fought for you too. What kind of appreciation do you have for Keith and the way he supports you and your program?
Keith's amazing. Keith, I wouldn't have been able to do all of this without Keith. He obviously vouched for me at the very beginning of last year, helping me get the interim job, and then obviously this year he's been working with me basically every day. I call him every day, and with questions, with asking for advice. How should I handle this? How should I handle that? He's had to help me along the way too with some things, which I greatly appreciate. But just having a guy here that who's been here for 30 plus years, I think he's been connected with the university for maybe over 50. Like, it's unbelievable, his dedication to not just me in the tennis program, but to all the Husker athletes and the whole athletic community here, and just Lincoln in general. So just having a guy like that, it just, the experience side that maybe was lacking, like, he was able to completely help me in that area, and I'm really grateful for Keith, and
continuing to work with them now longer is a blessing. So.
That's awesome. You talked about the guys on the team embracing you, welcoming you and Ray in. And I interviewed several of them, and they just seemed to really be all in. At what point did you realize, okay, this is a group that believes in the direction that I want to take this thing?
Well, I think you could see it a little bit at the beginning. I think they knew me from last year, and they knew my energy. They knew I was a capable tennis coach, and I was fun to be around. And I think they were just curious to see how I was going to lead and how I was going to approach things with Ray. And we're both confident guys. We both believe in what we're doing, and I think that's really important for them to see, like, okay, these guys aren't nervous. They're not tentative. They're not coming in here, is this the right way to do it? They're like, hey, this is how we're doing it. This is how this program is going to look and how it's going to breathe and how it's going to act every day. And, over the course of the year, I could start to see that they were starting to take my personality a little bit. They were starting to take Ray's personality a little bit, and that's cool because, at the end of the day, that's a big responsibility too. You really have to dot your I's and cross your T's because they do look and see everything you do and everything you say. But no, they start to take your mold, and you can see like the confidence building inside of them. You can see like, hey, like we're actually doing this. Like this is really cool and really exciting. So no, they did a great job. I always say, coaching, a good coach is only responsible for 5% of what happens. 95% of what happens is on them. That 5% is really important, but those guys deserve all the credit. They had a great year. So
you guys put together one of the best seasons in program history. You have the best record by a first-year head coach in program history, and I had a couple of them on, and they weren't satisfied with that. They wanted to win more. How do you feel about the momentum of where this program is after you close a chapter on the season, even though it was one of the best in a long time, but yet it seemed like they were still wanting more at the end?
Yeah, I think we're at a place right now maybe where the program hasn't been in a long time or at all. I think that's really cool. I think our guys know that. I think our guys, we were starting to play our best tennis at the end of the year, which is a sign of a strong team. The season's long, and the momentum of the season can go a lot of ways. And to be quite honest, at the beginning of the year, it wasn't going our way. We played a lot of really close teams or matches with a lot of really good teams.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't step over the line, and to be able to do that against Illinois, who is a perennial team, they're excellent. They've won national titles in tennis. To be able to do that and finish in the top 4 in the Big Ten, I think that's the first time we've ever done that too, is huge. And I think our guys took a lot of confidence in that, and not making the NCAA tournament, missing out by just like 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah,
I think is going to be good motivation for them going into the summer and into the fall.
I know, about this time a year ago, we sat down with you and when you were taking over the program, and you felt confident in your abilities, but over the last year, where do you feel like you've grown the most, that you feel like, okay, I know that I can do this now? Or what makes you feel like, okay, I am ready for this now?
Yeah, I always believed I could do it when I got into coaching. When I was a volunteer assistant at Kentucky, I told all of them there that I was going to be a head coach, and that's why I'm doing this. So I really believe that this is what I'm set out to do. But I think the biggest thing I would say is I'm not doing it for the first time anymore.
Yeah.
Everything I was doing last year was for the first time, having to call meetings, having to make decisions, having to, organize everything. Yeah, you just learn a lot, and you learn, and you're like, okay, like next time I'm going to do that a little bit better. That time I did it perfect. I try and keep notes and keep track of the things that I need to do better, and also with the things I did really well, so I don't forget to do that again. But I think that's probably the biggest thing. I think every year you try and sit down at the end of the year and you review the year, things you did really well, things that you want to do better, and then you just try and do better the next year. That's all you can really do.
So you've got a lot of the squad coming back. Tell us about how good you feel about where those guys are going into the season too, that you're just kind of adding a couple more pieces here or there. I do want to get into your recruiting plan, but just this group specifically coming back, how good do you feel about this core that's going to be coming back for you here in year 2?
Yeah, great. I think a lot of it comes down to the how we finish the year too. I think they all have confidence leaving the season, which I don't know if they felt that before. You know, Calvin really stepped up.
Yeah.
Anton, he was a transfer last year. He really had a great year too. You know, Lars, the whole team. You know, Leo lost one match at the 5 and 6 position in the Big Ten. You know, great wins, like just up and down the board. Our guys had a great year. There's a rating system that tennis nerds like to kind of look at, but all of our guys on that rating system improved by a significant amount. I don't know, we might be the only team in the country where we can say every single person on our roster improved, you know. So I think that's a testament to them and how hard they've worked, and just you can see the momentum on paper. Sometimes you can feel it and you believe it, but when you see it on paper, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
That helps too.
Absolutely. So one of the things that Troy Dannon had mentioned in the release about your recruiting plan, and that he really likes your approach to the recruiting plan. What does that look like for you now that you are officially in this spot? Because I know the interim tag can be a challenge at times when you're going through recruiting, but moving forward for this program, what are your hopes and plans and goals for that?
Well, I kind of have a 5-tier system. You know, when I look at recruits, I go through a checklist of 5 things. First thing is you got to be extremely competitive. 2, you got to be very tough, you know, relentless effort all the time. 3, you have to be intelligent. You have to know what you're doing when you're playing the match. 4, how do you perform under the biggest amounts or the highest amounts of pressure? You know, do you rise up to the moment, or do you take a step back and play tentative? And then 3, are you able to make things difficult when things aren't going your way? You know, if things aren't going your way, are you just going to throw in the towel, or are you going to find a way to stay out there? So when I'm going through the transfer portal, when I'm looking at recruits, I'm looking for guys that have those 5 things in that order, you know, top to bottom, you know, and if they have those 5 things, I know I can help them with the tennis and I can get them better at tennis. But I think universally around all the sports, I think coaches would all agree that the mentality and how they approach what they do every day, and those are the things that really matter when the big moment comes. You know, those are the things that you can't replace. A lot of it does, you know, in the big moments, the pressure, it's not about the tennis. It's about everything else. So those are the things that I look for in a recruit, and then obviously, yeah, they have to have some tennis skills as well. And then the last part is, I want them to be here. Like, I want them to want to be in Nebraska. I want them to want to be a part of Husker Nation, you know, coming and seeing all the facilities and meeting all the people here. We just had a recruit in this weekend, and he was blown away by the facilities and how nice people are here, and how, like, one big family we all are, between me, the strength coach, our trainer, everyone over in the training table with nutrition, and then all the way up to academics and life skills. He was like, is everyone really this nice all the time? And I'm like,
yes.
He's like, is this just a recruiting thing? I'm like, this really is how it is here. So, but that's more or less the recruiting pitch. It makes things difficult because you really you have to go through all the recruits with a fine comb, and not a lot of people, you know, qualify for what we're looking for here. So it's not easy, but I truly believe those are the things that are going to separate us as a program going forward.
You know, over the course of the year, being in the meetings with all the head coaches here, there's some incredible coaches here on campus. What's that been like for you, getting to learn and be around some of these coaches here on campus?
Yeah, no, it's been great. A lot of them have been here for a long time too. I've got to know Rhonda a little bit over at softball. She's been great. Also Amy with the women's basketball. You know, we all eat lunch together too. So just sitting down with some of them. I lift weights with a couple of them in the gym. Ron, one of the football guys who's been here for a long time too. We talk a little bit, but everyone's just nice, and they all want to help. You know, if a recruit's in town, they'll stop and talk. You know, if I have questions, they're always like, yeah, like, well, let's find some time. Usually it's over lunch or any time like that. But everyone wants everyone to succeed here. And everyone has time for everybody, which is pretty cool.
That's really cool. So, looking to it, the night at the lead, and I know your team also, it's really important for your program to perform well academically. How important is that to you moving forward? We've talked a lot about the tennis, but just the overall well-rounded student athlete when they come here to Nebraska.
Yeah, well, I think that's, at the end of the day, trophies stay in the case, and wins, go online, and records are cool. But your degree and, that travels with you forever. That's going to help you with everything you do the rest of your life. So I'm a big believer in that. And, here at Nebraska, we just offer so much of this stuff. Like, I didn't have all this. This wasn't offered for me when I was at Ohio State or when I was at Kentucky. There wasn't all these opportunities that they have here. It's remarkable. It really is. And it's nothing against those programs, and maybe times have changed, but the resources that they have here, and it would just be it would be a mistake. It would be silly for me as a coach to not allow them to maximize that side of themselves. And for me, at the end of the day, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if they play Wimbledon and they win a Grand Slam, that's awesome. But I want them to be a great father. I want them to be able to support their family, and I want them to be able to have a life outside of tennis. And a lot of that they can learn and start to build here at Nebraska, which is great.
I love that. I love that. So I remember, vividly sitting down with you and how much you believed in winning here, that it could be done here with Nebraska men's tennis. You've been at the highest level. You've won a national title. You were at Ohio State. You know what it takes. Do you still believe that more than ever after a year of this thing, and now as you take over, that it can be done, that you guys can be at the highest level here?
Absolutely. We are already doing it this year. Already. Beating Illinois, that was huge. Finishing in the top 4 of the Big Ten, that's a step forward. We finished 5th last year. We're already doing that. We played Ohio State twice, and we should have won 2 points off them the first time. The second time we took the doubles point off them, and they're the #1 team in the country by a lot right now, and they're the favorites to win the NCAA title, and we were right in there both times. I think that was important for our guys, but yeah, we get in this at the end of the day to win, and we have everything that we need here at Nebraska to do that, and that's what we're going to try and do these next couple years for sure.
Love it. Peter Kobelt, appreciate your time. Thanks again. Congratulations. And we'll look forward to much more continued success as you take over the helm, I guess, without the interim tag here with Nebraska men's tennis. Thank you again for being here.
Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate your time.
All right, we got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Sarpy County, where great food, drink, shopping, concerts, and fun await you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trailtainment 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice. to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Experience the thrill of the open road at Woodhouse Hyundai. Right now, lease the 2024 Hyundai Elantra SEL for $299 a month for 36 months with $0 down. Plus, when you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit WoodhouseHyundai.com today. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra. $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number H240452. Offer expires June 3rd, 2024. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Just a couple quick minutes left, a couple quick segments left here of our final hour here tonight. Update, Caitlin Clark has scored. She's got 7 points, but they showed some video of her, quite a bit of it. I think more than I've ever seen her on the bench, because I believe she was in foul trouble from what I can tell on our TV here in the studio. I was pretty disappointed that Cole was not here today, because he gave me a hard time saying that the Thunder, my Thunder, were in trouble last night, that he thought that they were going to go down 3-1. And OKC comes back from down 14 and steals one in Dallas and goes back to Oklahoma City tied 2-2. So I guess I'll just have to rub it in tomorrow and let him know about it, because he was questioning my Thunder. But all right, let's get to our final break. We got to wrap up the show next. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting major Macy Byers with Campus News. A surgical robot developed by UNL professor Shane Ferreter has received FDA approval, paving the way for greater access to advanced medical procedures in rural areas. The FDA approval followed a successful test of the robot aboard the International Space Station in February. The test involved months of preparation for UNL faculty and students working in close collaboration with NASA to launch and deliver the robot.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final few minutes left here of hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Rudy in Florida, I appreciate your text about Tyus, the interview with him. Unbelievable. Again, reminder, I will drop that full conversation tomorrow morning on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel, so you can listen to that full conversation out tomorrow. And coming up tomorrow, so with baseball, they moved it up a week. So the first game 1 of the series at Michigan State, will be Thursday night. Big series. We talked a lot about it with Coach Bolt last night, but Huskers right there in contention for a Big Ten title. Need some little bit of help from Purdue. So we've got to be Boilers fans, boiler up this weekend, because Illinois and Purdue facing off, and we need at least one loss from Illinois if the Huskers are going to sweep this weekend. So for the Huskers to have a share of the Big Ten title. So we were going to talk about all that and dive into the matchup and what needs to happen for the Huskers with Ben McLaughlin coming up tomorrow night. He'll be on the call this weekend. And then also our friend Damon Benning going to be here as well. So I know everyone always likes to hear from DB. So we've been hunting his charger. Of course, I'm going to have to give him a hard time about this tomorrow, but he texted me. He always, I feel like, leaves something, and he left his charger here on the spring game. He's been asking about it like every other day. So I finally said, well, and actually I had to send Russ to go get it because he left it up in the booth. So if we're gonna have to hunt down your stuff, you're gonna have to come on the show. So he's gonna be on tomorrow night as well. So it should be a fun show there. Fun show tonight. Appreciate Coach Rhule stopping by. Mentioned it's been so busy. They've officially moved in, by the way. They're all in, the football staff. They had pieces and portions that were there and operating, but everybody is in. So that I know that they're getting settled in over there in the Go Big project, and but recruiting, all of that. So super busy for them. So appreciate him taking some time. And Peter Kobelt, congratulations to him. So deserving. He's young, but I know Coach Troy Dannon saw a lot of potential in him, and heck of a season for men's tennis. So congratulations to him again. Very well deserved. And I think men's tennis program is going to make some noise here in the upcoming years. And again, Tyus Wilson, Big Ten champion. Unbelievable interview. So what a fun show. Thanks to Russ and Duke/show. Duke's going to miss us, but he'll be back, and he's going to be working with us and football. So maybe he'll have some insight for us when he comes back. But our interns do a great job, by the way. I'll give them a shout out here. But thanks again to Russ. We'll be back tomorrow, our final show of the week, because we'll be on the air with baseball on Thursday and Friday. So make sure you tune in then. And thanks so much for listening tonight here on Sports Nightly. Have a great Tuesday evening.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Experience personalized service and exceptional deals at Woodhouse Lincoln. With cutting-edge technology and incredible design, Woodhouse Lincoln is the place to find your next luxury vehicle. Going on now, receive 2.9% APR for 72 months on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Or save up to $2,000 off MSRP with retail customer cash on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. With approved credit, $299 dock fee due at signing. Offer expires July 8, 2024. See dealer for details.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate.